This is Incorporating Superpowers, and I am your host, Justin Recla. And today I am super, super excited to be talking with and speaking to one of my favorite people on the planet. She is absolutely magic. So before we get started, a little bit of background here. Marilyn and I met at a business conference called CEO Space. Oh my goodness, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, however long it was. And it was like this. It was just like this. It was pure magic in the moment. And it's been that way every time we reconnect. So my guest today is Mariyln Macha. We're going to be talking about creating consciousness for what you want. Marilyn, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you, Justin. Appreciate being here. Get to share. Yay.
Yes, this is going to be super fun because we both speak very similar languages, and we were able to hit a whole, wide variety of people who hear what we have to say. So first and foremost, can you share with our listeners a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
I'm going to begin with my professional stand that I was for 30 years as an investment advisor. And what I saw in these 30 years was my passion was coaching them and coaching my advisors that I had in my office to go beyond or have a relationship with their money, their spouses, to enhance what they already had. So I sold my company 5 years ago so that I could coach in the financial industry. And what I mean by that is that I coach financial advisors, wealth advisors who take care of billions and billions of assets. And what that has morphed into is teaching principles and tools in a language that not only translates to these successful principles, CEOs and advisors, but in a language that they can actually speak to their children about. And I've become very involved. I'm a grandmother. That's one of my favorite jobs. Oh my gosh. To teach my grandsons, ages 7 and 9, who they can become. That it's up to them. So I teach the principles and the tools that I teach for successful business owners. I teach also to children that I've gotten involved in the school districts. And
that's awesome. I mean, as you know, we've got Neva, our 9-year-old. She's been doing business since she was 2, and so she's very heart centric, and she comes from a place of just service, and. I think what you're doing and sharing that with not only the parents but people in the industry is so needed today. It needs to be able to translate over into our kids because they're the ones that are carrying the stuff forward. And if they're carrying forward old energies or low energies or low vibration type stuff, it's not going to serve them. So I absolutely love what you're doing. But now I want to call out the elephant in the room so we can really highlight what that looks like. So in your industry, whether it be the financial sector or just coaching, what is the biggest challenge? What is the thing that everybody knows is going on and wants to call BS on, but they're not doing?
Thank you, Justin. And I'm going to clarify that as the coaching, the consulting industry, that there are great coaches and consultants out there. And they are doing good work in training how to do things, processes to implement. But very, very few are teaching about who is doing the doing, who is really claiming the power that lies in our mental focus, the power that lies within us that's greater than any circumstance or condition. But there are great coaches that have people get to what's important to them, but then it's about the doing. We stay with what is it that they love? What is it that matters to them? Why is that important? The big why. Simon Sinek was really on the edge of identifying the power of the why. I take it even deeper. That's my BS breaker in the industry.
I could not agree more. there are too many people in the industry that are wanting to still keep it at arm's reach.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's done from this very icky way because it's designed to keep you buying and consuming and paying for more material. Right. And that's great and all if you're the coach, right? It's because every time somebody clicks on the button, it's just cha-ching. But what change are you actually making? And I love how you talk about the doing piece. Matter of fact, we were just having this conversation in our household this morning of don't ask, just do. Don't ask, just do. Here's the guidance. Your coach is giving you a roadmap. Don't ask, just do. Right? The coach is there to lead you. The coach is there to give you the tools and the assets that you need. And oftentimes when we hire a coach, there's that little piece of our mind that goes, oh God, what are they going to sell me on next? Right? Because it's just been infused from all the BS, the elephant that you just called out. So let's talk about what does that look like then to just do? How do you create consciousness to create whatever it is that you want in your life?
Thank you. And I'm going to address what you said, that the coaching of the doing is great work, but it's not what really has it happen. It works, that kind of coaching works really well in sports because you're immediately out there having to do something. And it's very important. And I don't want to diminish the importance of the doing in the kind of coaching that I provide as well. But where it comes from, the consciousness that can change, it actually becomes so simple, and our brains are not programmed in this, especially in this decade, in this century, to have it be simple. Everything's complicated. We get into the very, very simple nature, even, for example, of the definition of success that I use. But we delve into the definitions that we're using and how they apply internally. What do they mean for you? Why is that important? What does that trigger for you in resolving? There are doing applications to it, but it's more important to get to your joy. What's important to you that gives you satisfaction, that gives you the impetus. That's where children are so brilliant, because they do things in which they're joyful. They intuitively, instinctively want to contribute, want to serve, want to give. Oh, Glammy, they call me. Oh, Glammy, may I crack the eggs? Let me provide something here. How fabulous. How fabulous to want to know that your serving is about what you love and what brings you joy innately.
Yeah, that's there is so much loss to that in our world today.
Just do it.
We're so busy chasing the buck. We're so busy chasing the dream. We're so busy, worrying about other things that we don't take time to stop and realize what brings us joy. Yes. And my experience of it has been I love how you highlighted your grandkids. Just the example there is that really what most of us are seeking is connection and how to contribute, right? And they just want to be able to contribute to something else. But we've gotten this broken out, and especially here in the U.S., right? This individualistic society thinking that you have to do it all by yourself. And folks, it's broken. It's absolutely broken. And it's because of people like Marilyn that are out there fixing it. Okay? Because you have to stop. You can chase all the money in the world. Can't take it with you. Can't take it with you. Marilyn, we're going to dive down this rabbit hole a little bit further. Good. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break. And before we go to break, Marilyn, where can our listeners go find you?
My website, MariylnMacha.com, Marilyn, just like Marilyn Monroe, and Macha, MariylnMacha.com.
Awesome. We're talking to Mariyln Macha. This is Incorporating Superpowers. We're talking about how you create consciousness for what you want. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you an entrepreneur who speaks at conferences? Have you attended a conference and seen someone on stage you know is guilty of bad business practices? If you want to stand out from the crowd and give your prospective clients peace of mind, then make sure your business is in the Clear Directory. All of our members operate in transparency and are screened annually for frauds and scams. Stand out from the crowd and get in the Clear Directory. Visit clearbusinessdirectory.com/join to sign up today.
Welcome back to Incorporating Superpowers. I am your host, Justin Recla, and we are talking to Mariyln Macha today about creating consciousness for what you want. And we started down the rabbit hole a little bit before the break, Mariyln. So talk to me. We talked about the doing piece. We talked about how there's that missing piece, and really what people are looking for in life is just really about connecting and collaborating and contributing to something bigger than themselves, right? I mean, that's why most people get into business in the first place, is because they want to have an impact on the world, right? We got talking about how easy it is to get lost in chasing the dollar. Talk to me a little bit about more what you do with your people and how you guide them to kind of crack that nut open and expose really what the core issue is.
Thank you for asking that, and I will answer it. What I would very much like to acknowledge you on what I consider. You are so right there about all of the principles that provide the success for you, the going beyond success, Justin. You just said 3 of them. I happen to believe that we're all born with 3 needs. The need to belong, think of an infant, the need to belong, the need to grow, and the need to contribute. Those are who we are, what we come with. They all have to do with what Covey called interdependence. Have to do with serving others so that we're served. That it's brilliant that you just so naturally saw that. You called it other things, but you said the 3 things that I happen to believe are the 3 needs that we're born with. So having said that, that's what I begin to open up in answer to your question.
Nice.
I open up way back when thoughts. What gave you joy? What was important about that? How did that have you feel in a way? And it's like, this is silly. No, it's not. It gets us back to what got covered up through the years of the drive, the go for it. No, you don't want to do that. What are you thinking of? That's not logical. But I want to be a peanut. I want to play carny. Great. No, that won't make you any money. No, that all of that stuff we start to chip away at simply by recognizing, remembering what was there. Now, this is not psychology. It is not about fixing anything that was broken there. It actually incorporates, this is another area where I feel that I'm quite unique. I bring in, for the logical part of our brain, I bring in the neuroscience. I bring in quantum physics, the science of it, the physics. This is not stuff that's imagined. This is real. How do we reprogram our brain? I call myself the antivirus system. All of those things that were programmed in there for however many years, we're going to readjust, as Joe Dispenza calls, we're going to create new synapse connections. Those new synapse connections we are going to design from what we love.
You're spot on. And, this is the level of conversation that most people are scared to have, because they built an identity on top of a lie, and you're helping them uncover and getting back to what really resonates here. And we've all heard stories of this, of the person that did XYZ for 30 years, and now they've turned in and they've gone and done something completely opposite, right? We see it in the movies, we read about it in the news, and we think that's outside of ourselves. No, folks, all that is that somebody's had an awakening and recognized that they've uncovered what really makes them happy, and that at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than just that. And so I'm going to encourage you to, if you're struggling with identifying with this, I mean, in the business world, in the due diligence world, I mean, that's where the superpower experts came from. We see so many people that are doing this, Marilyn, that are just miserable in their existence because they're not tapping into, why did you get started in the first place?
Exactly.
Right? Because if you got started for money, I tell you right now, you probably shouldn't have started. Right? So what do you say when somebody comes up with resistance on wanting to examine themselves or examine their life? How do you first crack the core of that layer to plant the seed to let it go? How do you get through to somebody so they can hear you on that?
Well, it's individual. I'm very blessed in how I've been trained, those new synapses, how I've been trained to see someone as a hero to begin with in their own life, exactly as they are. It's a non-judgment, it's a curiosity that I bring. And it's not about me. I don't have your answers, but I have questions that access the answers you have for you. And you guide me in how to ask those questions. I have one of my very favorite things is having an initial call with someone. Two things. I am not for everyone. Like you said, wherever you are, if there's not a willingness to go beyond or a consideration, no, my life's good enough. A willingness to let go of good for great. If there's not a willingness to let go of the good for great, and I'm a personal story of that. What I shared with you, giving my background for 30 years, it was a challenge for me to even consider selling that business. I had a very cushy life. It was like
30 years, folks, as a financial advisor. She had her own financial firm. That is something that most people don't walk away from. I love it. You are the prime example of that.
I have done this. I know the challenge. I had a mentor. It was with her partnership that I could recognize something in myself that wanted expression. It wasn't even my expression. It was this expression that I came to give. I'm searching for, I don't know how that lands on people, but it's such a gift. I love it. My favorite times are when I first meet someone, and I meet people typically by referral. And what I mean by referral too, you are referring someone to me today. It's a referral. Someone has some curiosity about it. Then we just get connected. You said that in the beginning, to get connected, to belong. We get connected. I am not afraid to connect. Connectedness is my number 3 strength. Connected. I love being connected.
It's hold on one second. A little noise around the room. Yes, folks, this is what happens when you record, and no, I'm not going to go back and edit this out, just so you know. Stick with us. I love, wait a second, 2 seconds. All right, here we are. Okay, he's leaving now. Apparently, they decided to come on a day that I was recording. It's all good. That's how we roll with the flow here, right? And if you're watching the video of this, you're going to see some funny facial expressions and some
that's part of the process too, Justin. You allow, okay, this is what's happening, but it doesn't deter our conversation. This is brilliant.
No, and that's where most people get hung up, right? Is they'll get hung up on those little distractors, and it's like kitty, and they're over here now they're doing this, right? Ooh. And they get caught up on different things, and like it's a shiny object, right? Of course, if you just focus on what you love to do and connect, I love connecting with people. I'm able to meet. I tend to shock people because of the way I look. They automatically assume that I ride a Harley. They automatically assume that, I haven't done any type of personal development, and don't speak coach and all that kind of stuff. And then I open my mouth and like, whoa, right? I love to connect with people, right? I mean, you and I can go 5-6 months without talking, and then boom, here, the energy, you can just feel it between the two of us. And I absolutely love that. And it's because we had that connection at the beginning. So Marilyn, what is the biggest thing that you see with the people that you're working with? What's the common theme that that holds people from really taking that leap? What's the thing that really takes, what's the story that they have that takes them from moving forward and starting to dig underneath the pile of stuff that they've built up on themselves?
Well, you just said it. It's that facade. It's that they don't really know yet or don't remember. It's still there. They don't remember that gift that they came to bring. I heard a quote, and this might not apply for a lot of people or make an impact, but it certainly impacted me a couple of months ago. And I continue to learn. I continue to go for certifications. I continue to up level my own skills. So there is doing, there's action. But I heard this quote, an anonymous quote. The two most important days of our life are the day that we were born and the day we discovered why.
That I've seen that quote so many times throughout the years, and it rings true. And it doesn't matter what you do for a living, it still holds true. What we're fed, though, is that you got to go do something to make money. And what Marilyn's talking about here is that if you identify what you're here to do, you identify your purpose, you identify your mission, the money will come. The money just shows up. And you have to trust that, and you have to know that, because at the end of the day, you can't take the money with you, so you might as well be doing what you love to do anyways.
Well, your life certainly reflects it, and your definition of success can transform.
Absolutely.
Someone else's definition of success for you. You have,
and that's we got people
you're
stop buying
taken
into
care
that.
of. Yes, yes. That's
And
you're behind it.
And if you're in business, especially if you're a financial advisor with kids, then make sure you reach out to Marilyn. She's doing some great things in the world. This is just the tip of the iceberg, folks, because the energy that Marilyn brings to the people I've seen her touch and work with is just unreal. Marilyn, how old are the grandkids?
7 and 9, 2 little boys.
Nice. So I take it to provide you with lots of stories
Yes.
for fodder for your clients to go, that's funny, my 7-year-old just did that.
Exactly. The stories that they get it. And I share these stories. Justin, you're a plant. You just are right on with all of your input. Exactly. You get it.
So talk to me about what your let's talk a little bit about because I want to tap into the kids section here, because I see this with Neva. I mean, we get to experience it firsthand and how we were raising Neva.
Isn't it so fun?
Oh my goodness. I tell you what, folks, start doing things different with your kids. Start using them as a mirror. Start looking at them as a mirror, because they will reflect back to you your own stuff, and you're going to give an opportunity to do it different. Don't repeat what your parents said just because that's what you think you're supposed to say. Stop, own your shit, and apologize to your kids for yelling at them when you yell at them, because you know that all it was an old story. So, Marilyn, let's talk about this, because in my opinion, there is no greater work in the coaching arena that one can be doing, is to be helping parents address these kinds of things with their kids. What does that look like for somebody in your experience? I mean, I know what it looks like firsthand. I live it. What does that look like for your clients that are dealing with that in their kids, and they're seeing it, but they don't know how to grasp it because everything else around them is telling them, but you're the parent and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to say this, and you're supposed to do this. Right. What does that look like for them? How do you work somebody through that?
Well, you bring up two key points, and I'd like to tell a short story too.
Please.
He was at the time 5 or 6, a couple of years ago. One thing that I tell my grandsons is that they have a superpower. Their superpower is called their thinking. And they can design their life in a way that is bigger than any circumstance or condition, as long as they are thinking in a clear, focused clear and focused manner. And we get into that. But that's what I talk to my CEOs, what I talk to the financial advisors, these successful people that already know life and how to succeed, but they feel empty, or their relationships aren't working. I bring in many tools, but one of them in particular is that I remind them, that's one of my favorite words, to remind them
I like it.
that they don't have control over their thoughts. There's a thought's going to come in. We don't control the thoughts. They're there. What we can control is what we have to notice them first. And then where will we focus the direction of that thought? How do we shift that to something toward a game worth playing or down the tunnel of familiarity? Is that working for my relationship? No. The simplicity. Then what would I be willing to do? What would I be willing to focus on that would take my relationship to an advanced degree? Simple, not easy.
Not easy.
Simple. And that's why with children, it's easier because they don't have all the noise that the adults do. And it happens pretty fast. I already see it in my 9-year-old.
Yeah. Well, and the beautiful thing is that working with kids is that you can easily peel back the layers and show them something different, and because they're more receptive to it. They're not covered with the years and the stories and the fears and the anxiety
what it needs to look like. Right.
Yeah. And it's still so pure with them, and that you can really instill that in your kids at a young age. And the only way that starts is either hiring Marilyn, help you, or do it on your own, because it's that piece.
Find a mentor.
Find somebody.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Just do it, right? You've got all the tools that you need. You're listening to this podcast. So guess what? You can't go unlearn what you just heard. You now know it. It's the thoughts that come in, we can't control, but what we can control is how we respond and or react to those thoughts.
Well put.
Oh, Marilyn, this rabbit hole goes so deep. I could talk to you for weeks. Wrap us up here. Take us home with the final thought and share where people can find you.
Get to your greatness. Know that you are great to begin with. That's the beginning, and all is well. Then notice what is not on, just like a measuring stick, a barometer, something that guides you. If it's either going to be off or on. And we're like, our thoughts can be identified in a thermostat representation. And if it's not where we want it to be, then kick on the air conditioning so that it gets back to being pleasant. But you have to know certain tools. Again, there is the doing, but just know that it's your thinking and that it comes from an essence of greatness. That's who we are. Know your greatness and know your contribution.
Awesome. Marilyn, one more time, where can our listeners go find you?
MariylnMacha.com. Kept it real simple.
Awesome. And if you're listening today, go check it out. We'll have the links below for you in the on the website, the transcription of the podcast. Marilyn, thank you so much for being here. And folks, go give Marilyn's site, take a look and see what she's doing and the greatness and goodness that she's putting out in the world. And until next time, we thank you for your loyalty. Make sure you tap in, you start listening to your own thoughts and start incorporating your own superpowers in your life today. Take care.
Thank you, Justin.